What's up, y'all? It's Papa was cracking. It's D. About to react to this vid by Queen Choma. It's titled Jhene Aiko is wasting her time and Queen Naija gets no ring. Okay. Someone sent me this, asked me to check it out. Apparently, these ladies have babies with their men and they are not married. So people are having strong opinions about this. So, yeah, let's hear what she has to say. Let's watch.
So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Choma Chats video podcast edition.
Gorgeous ladies.
So by the title, we're going to be talking about marriage once again. The examples today stem from some recent conversations with two women in the R&B space, which are Jhene Aiko and Queen Naija. Recently, Jhene Aiko's baby daddy and longtime boyfriend, which is the rapper Big Sean, answered the question about why he has not married or proposed to Jhene, even though they've been dating for 10 years. So Big Sean did an interview basically stating that there are things that need to be worked out, and there's essentially more time needed before he's ready to marry Jhene Aiko. Mind you, these two share a son together. Jhene has a daughter from a previous relationship, and she's been married before. It all just seems very tiring. And I've talked about this several times, but the more the example...
Wasn't she married to Orion? Oh, that man is fine. Omarion's brother? That man is fine. I didn't know they was married.
Come up, the more tired I get by trying to tell women to acknowledge a man's mindset in the beginning before you procreate. On the other hand, Queen Naija recently celebrated her 6-year anniversary with her boyfriend and child's father, Clarence. And you would think that after that time and after having a man's baby, that her boyfriend Clarence NYC would probably take things to another level. But
I think these stickers look stupid. Maybe for children, they would be acceptable, but children don't usually have to deal with acne. But seeing grown people with these on, and I even see men with them sometimes, I think y'all look stupid. But do what you want. Who cares what I think? But that's just my opinion.
Instead, he got...
I'd rather just sport the acne. Just sport the zit until it pops and goes away on its own. Why would I... That's bringing more attention...
flowers, and a new car. And you can verbally hear the disappointment in her voice. And I talked about Queen Naija in a recently posted video, and I think it just develops the idea a little bit more because a lot of women are knowing that they want a certain level of commitment from a man, but accepting maybe not crumbs, but just scraps of that potential. So this has been the most requested topic because I've talked about it before, but also because there's this pattern that we see in the media and in real life with different types of women when it comes to kids, marriage, and relationships overall. So I've broken this video down into 2 overall main talking points. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my first point is talking about Jhene Aiko and Big Sean. So let's start with them. Again, these two have been together on and off for about 10 years. They share one son together, and I feel like their relationship gets publicized as goals or unproblematic, but I just feel like in all honesty, they're just a little bit more quiet with their toxicity. So I ended up watching a few videos on their relationship, and I realized that it has been nothing short of toxic. From infidelity to marriages that led into their relationship to breakups to a whole bunch of things. It just seems like there's been a lot of trouble at home. Jhene even has or had a very large tattoo of Big Sean on her arm. Now, I'm not necessarily against people tattooing the names of their significant other or their loved ones. I just feel like if you're gonna do it, at least let it be small, something that you can cover up if all goes left, or at the very least, let y'all be married. But she went and got this tattoo the size of Texas tattooed on her arm of this man's face. And what this signifies to me is a woman's everlasting loyalty to a man as either a last-ditch effort to prove herself or some form of obsession and infatuation with that man. Insert Krishan Rock. She has tattooed Blueface's name all over her body, and she's written it off as something that she just did because she likes it. But we all know it's more or less to prove herself to him because permanently tattooing somebody's name or likeness on your body is fanfare. It's more than just I love you, it's more like I'm obsessed with you. And that's how Jhene's tattoo of Big Sean came off to me. She has since gotten it covered up with something else, but that was something that she did pretty early into the relationship. With this interview that Big Sean did, Charlamagne the God asked him, "Why haven't you married Jhene Aiko?" In his response, I feel as though he gave an honest answer and it was pretty thorough and it gives an insight to things not being all the way perfect. Let's check out what he had to say.
Alright, y'all already did one of those secret industry weddings? No, there has not been a secret industry marriage
I think that it's a little personal, you know what I mean? But just like, to be real with you, just like any people who have dealt with love, we've had our ups and downs, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think it's still finding the right navigation through it all. I don't know if to me, marriage symbolizes like the best relationship. You know, people be like, well, you gotta get married. To me, I feel like having a relationship is first and foremost, and like marriage is a byproduct of that. And I feel like a lot of people get the idea of like, oh, you have to get married. But then it's like, to me, that's almost a fear-based way of thinking too, because then people be getting divorced. Mm-hmm. The divorce rate's so high. And I am someone who, I'm not like discounting anything, and I'm not saying that we aren't gonna get married, but what I'm saying is that it's just, I would like to do a lot. I would like to, and I don't like putting our personal business out there like that either, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done, I feel like, in general.
Now, in my humble opinion, I don't think any relationship is perfect. Whether you're in a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship or you're full-blown married, there's going to be ups and downs. The ups and downs should never be anything like cheating, abuse, manipulation, but the ups and downs definitely come from just the reality of life. You have high moments where you're confident in your career, yourself, your family, and your goals, and you have low moments where maybe things financially aren't the best, you're dealing with death or loss, you're dealing with sickness, you're dealing with uncertainty, self-doubt, or insecurity. Things happen, and that's because we're all just human. The purpose of a marriage, and I've said this before, is to make a commitment to the Lord and the law. It is a legally binding contract, so essentially
Here's the thing. I feel like a lot of people have a lot of opinions about these type of things when they have not experienced it themselves. I don't know if she has, so I'm not speaking about her specifically. I don't know her situation whatsoever or what she's been through. But in my experience, I've been in a few really long-term relationships, and sometimes it just doesn't make sense to get married. If y'all relationship is in a bad place and have been in a bad place for a while, and you're in a space where you're trying to figure out if we're going to proceed with this, are we going to be able to fix this, or are we going to go our separate ways? Like, what we going to do? You could be in limbo for a while, and you won't understand this until you've been in a long-term relationship. That shit is hard. Like, one of my long-term relationships in particular, the last, I want to say, couple years were rocky. They were really, really rocky. And it was a lot of breaking up, getting back together. It was a lot of on and off shit, a lot of toxicity taking place, a lot of us trying to figure out if we wanted to proceed or not. And marriage was brought up. It was proposed. And no, it wasn't a good idea to do that just to say, oh, we're married. It's like, no. And I feel like when that did become a very real proposition, that's when the decision had to be forced. Like, all right, we just gotta let this go, because this is not a good idea. So I understand kind of being in limbo and not being sure if you want to proceed with the person or not. And that's not an easy decision to make. So you could want to be with them and want to marry them, but you might be in a space where it's like, if things don't get better, actually, I don't want to do this. If we can't fix this, or if we can't get over this hurdle or whatever. So you might be trying to wait that out because you do love them and you do want to be with them, long term, forever or whatever, but you might be trying to figure shit out. Relationships are very, very complex, and I hate the internet because they simplify everything, but I promise you 99% of these people who are so loud, have all these strong opinions, they don't have no fucking experience with relationships themselves. They don't have long-term experience with relationships, so they be the ones talking the most shit. Like, shut up! Shut up! You have not even been in a long-term relationship. Shut up. You don't know what that's like. Everything is real cute and sweet the first few years, okay? That's the honeymoon phase. Everything's great, whatever. But, bro, after that, shit gets real. And that's when you need to determine, is this somebody? So there's a lot that goes into it. I don't think being like, well, we already got a baby, so I might as well just get married too. I don't think that makes sense either. I also don't think it makes sense to have a baby, period, when you trying to figure another person out. So that was their first fuck up, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't think it's also a good idea to be like, well, already made that mistake of having the baby with you too quick. so let's just get married. Our relationship is ass. It's not where we want it to be, but yeah, let's just get married. Might as well. I don't think that makes sense either. Because I know people have the sentiment like, oh, well, you already had a kid, so why are you now hesitant when it comes to marriage? Because that was a mistake. They shouldn't have done that when they are trying to figure out their relationship. I think you should wait several years to have a kid, in my opinion. People are so quick to pop out babies. I don't think that's a good idea. But anyway, so they already made that mistake of having the child. So you want them to just be like, all right, let's make another mistake and get married when our relationship is going through it? That's the best idea to you? I don't, whatever.
It is going into business with a loved one. And the religious aspect is completely up to you as a believer. But I also feel like you don't have to be a Christian or a believer to commit to another person through marriage. I think people try to make marriage more complicated than it needs to be, but also not as complicated as it is. There is some gray area in there. And what I mean by that is
what? You know how complex shit gets when you get married? It's that much harder to divvy up your money and like your property and shit, and I feel like it makes things more complicated if you want to split after you get married. But if y'all not married, that's a clean, split. If y'all didn't go through with that step yet, so they might be in stages where they're trying to figure out what they want to do or if they want to actually be together forever. And sometimes you just don't know. That whole sentiment of, oh, you should know within the first year, shut up. Again, a lot of inexperienced people. I don't agree with that at fucking all. I have been in a few situations where the first year, bliss. Everything is amazing, great. As you start to get to know a person deeper and you're around them for some years, that's when more shit starts coming out. That's when you start to experience, oh, how is this person when they're faced with, death in their family, or they're faced with like a tragedy, or they're going through depression or whatever. It can turn that person into someone that you don't want to be with. And it can be like, oh shit, this is a whole different side of you. This is not what I want to deal with for the rest of my life. If you're going to have these, periods of depression and act like this and turn into this person, or when somebody die you do this. So there is so much that goes into it, and I just hate everybody because people have so many opinions when you have not experienced these things. You speak in these generalizations, and it's not the case for everybody. Everybody's situation is different, and there's a lot of shit that we don't see and that we don't know. So I don't think it's fair at all to come to these generalizations and say, well, they should be doing this or da 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 da. Like, bro, everybody shut up. That's not these type of videos.
Committing to each other can be verbal, but I feel like when you're married, it gives the extra structure, the seriousness, the purpose, and the agreement to stick with this person no matter what. I'm not married. In my opinion, I'm in my first real relationship, so I would love and the agreement to stick with this person no matter what. I'm not married. In my opinion, I'm in my first real relationship, so I would love for them.
No shade to this lady. Y'all go check her out. Please watch the rest of her video if you want to hear her take on the situation. But that is how I feel. I feel like people have very strong opinions when they have not had the experience to have the knowledge of what actually is involved in a long-term relationship. It gets very complicated. Shit gets very real. You will not know this until you experience it yourself. No amount of fucking social media or movies or TV shows is going to prepare you for that. I promise you, all of these comments that you see online and these people know your worth and you should do this and do that. Bullshit. Whole bunch of bullshit. You will not know these things until you experience them firsthand, and your perception on life and relationships will change as you actually have experience in love. So there's that. Whatever. I already gave my take on it. Again, I do agree that the first mistake was having the baby before you even are aware if this is going to be your forever partner. And I feel like that takes time to come to that conclusion. It takes time because you don't know. Stop listening to these fucking airheads online who are telling y'all, if he don't know within the first 6 months that he love you and want to marry you, he ain't the one to do it. Shut up. Don't do that. Do not have nobody's baby that quick or even get married that quick. I don't agree with that at all. People are very, very complex. They change, they switch up. A lot of things can occur based on the events that they go through in life. And you will not know that until you spend that amount of time with them. And that takes, time. It takes time. If I would have jumped into marriage prematurely, that would have been bad. That would have been bad. Okay? So I'm glad. Anyway. Good luck to everybody out there. I wish everyone the best. I hope everybody figures it out, because that's all we're trying to do in this world is figure shit out, okay? The world is complicated. Relationships are complicated. People are complicated. So I know that they're just trying to navigate it and figure things out. So I don't think it's fair to criticize people so harshly, especially when you don't even have that experience and you don't know their experience. Whatever. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!